Alright, welcome back everyone to another modern video. This time I'm going to be playing an aspiring spike list. The goal of this one is you've got Freestrider, Lookout, and Magda as crime payoffs, and then they kind of naturally fit into a green-red scape shift shell. I played this a little bit and it feels really good, especially with you've got 4 commercial districts, 4 baubles to kind of smooth out your draws. Um, and once you get your crime payoffs going, it could really go off. So yeah, let's hop into a game. All right. So starting off on the play here, this is kind of an interesting one. Obviously all the creatures are really good to have, but the third land with no crime payoff. I think in this case I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I've got a commercial district to surveil, and I'm playing 26 lands in the deck, so I think drawing a land by turn 3 is pretty likely. Let's see what I got going here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the mountain. I'd like to eventually get a crime enabler going, but at the very least, I know that I'm going to be able to curve out for a bit here. Okay, we got Architects of Will. Let's see if they also have the scam. I feel like if they have the scam, I mean, it makes sense to just take my 2 non-dryad creatures. If they don't have the scam, then probably just Magda, just throw me off curve. That looks like what they're going for. So maybe this might be up against a Goryo's Vengeance deck. Seems like it could be a tough matchup. Don't really have too much in the way of like discard or obviously counter spells or anything like that. So I'll really be relying on the relics, which I do have 4 of main deck. So that's definitely an advantage that I would have here. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that they exiled the Architects of Will, so I'm up against Living End. It's kind of a similar boat. It's if I draw a relic, then this game will go pretty well. And if I don't draw a relic, oh my gosh. Don't know if you could hear that, but my cat just jumped out of the bookshelf and knocked over a bunch of books. Scared herself right out of the room. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, I really need a relic, and given that they just exiled an Ardent Plea for this, I'm gonna say that they have another Cascade in hand, and then that's probably just game. The single Magda out of the graveyard is not gonna win me this one. Well, unless they miss on lands, that is kind of my only way to win. So I'm going to go for Freestrider Lookout here. I'm not really getting any value out of the Dryad, so definitely want to have that in play if I find a way to commit a crime next turn. Hopefully, okay, looks like they're still out of lands. I can grab another commercial district here. The One Ring. I feel like I got to keep this. Like this is gonna be my main way to draw more things and gonna get out of this. Okay, had a force and a subtlety, so I guess all the bases were covered there. Okay, well, I guess if they just never draw a third land, then I can win that way. Then I'm gonna go with the same logic again here. Is just play a Freestrider, if I get a crime enabler, then I want that in play, and Dryad doesn't. Until I draw my 6th land, Dryad doesn't do anything. Okay, so tapped land here. If I draw a fetch land, then my opponent is like almost dead already. The One Ring's solid. Let's see what I can get off of it. And it stops me from, if they do Cascade, it stops me from getting griefed next turn, which is kind of big with these Dryads in hand. Okay, so Wooded Foothills. I think I'm gonna hold it. I mean, with the 2 Dryads, like I can play up to 3 lands next turn, and every land that I play is a Valakut trigger. In this scenario right now, all I would be really doing is just fetching for a commercial district. So yeah, here comes the Cascader. This really came at the perfect time. So they've got a huge board, but I do have some tricks. I think, yeah, there are 2 subtleties down, so that's really one of the only things that would save them in this situation. Bolt is good too. So cast a Dryad, shock you. Looks like we got this one locked up. It's awesome to win game 1 against Living End, and then I guess there's not really any reason to cast the Dryad here, but there's a spell in my hand, so I will cast it. All right, locked up game 1, and you know, with the Relics main deck, there isn't really much graveyard hate in this sideboard, so I'm probably just gonna end up running this back. Like the only, Flame Slash doesn't really do much. It doesn't do anything unless they've living ended, and I'm probably already dead by that point. Beseiju, no. Pick your poison, Weather Storm, Scape Shift, no. Damping Spheres, like technically, I could slow them down by spending an extra mana, but I'm spending what, like 2 mana to make them pay 1 extra. Not the greatest exchange, so I'm just gonna roll with the relics. This is a good hand. It's another one that happens a lot against Living End, where it's like a good hand against pretty much any deck, but Living End just operates on such a weird axis that I don't know if this one will be good enough. But I think I'm gonna keep. I think this deck can filter through enough to where there's a decent chance that I'll find a relic, and if I find a relic or my opponent is stumbling, then this has everything I need. I can really like kind of go off with Freestrider lookouts, Dryads, Ren and Six, Magda. Like it's got everything I could ever want, as long as I can live to cast it. So the MVP of the deck, Commercial District, coming in clutch. The only thing would be more clutch if I put like a Dryad into the graveyard, but no such luck. All right, gonna go for a Ren and Six here. Ren and Six is just really good in this situation, trying to get another 3rd land, and it has a crime enabler. Fortunately, the subtlety comes down, and I'll bottom because I've got another red and 6, and then they pitched Shardless, so looks like they have the turn 3 Cascader this game. So they're getting back 10 power with a Shardless agent, that's 12. And next turn I'm probably just gonna Ren again. Oh, there's the there's the relic. Turn too late. Kind of have to just Ren in 6. Um, really the only thing that I can hope for in this situation is just to uh, survive this turn, which I should, and then next turn I can start playing rings. It seems like they decently likely that they would have a force at this point, but I mean that's kind of all I've got. So I'm going to fetch out a. I'm going to fetch the Dwarven Mine just to be annoying for them. Cast the ring. If it resolves, then I'm still in it. If it does not, then I'm moving to game 3. All right, game 3 it is. Well, I mean that is how games go against Living End sometimes. You know, like they've got subtleties and force negations and griefs. So if you are trying to interact with them, you might not be able to. And then if you don't have your interaction like I did in that game, then it doesn't matter what they have. So, oh man, another another great hand with no relics. Um, I mean, I think I'm gonna keep it again. I don't know how good it's going to be to mulligan deep for a relic. Um, but it's just so tough to turn down like a really solid hand like this when if I could mulligan, like yes I could mulligan deep for a relic, but there's no really guarantee that I would get a functional hand off of it. And even without, and if I don't have a functional hand, then the relic by itself isn't going to win me this game. So Mishra's Bauble is kind of interesting here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and bottom or graveyard it because I've already got Ren and 6 as a crime enabler. So, I'm not really looking too deep for that. And, you know, the bubble, is going to give me an extra card deep, but so does graveyarding it. So, all right. Got another lookout. Fortunately, it's not a relic. But I do get a Ren down. So next turn I can Dryad plus 2 lands or Freestrider plus ping. Opponent's doing living end things. Got a grief, but they have to take a creature, so whatever they take, I'm going to get something back off the living end. Probably Freestrider lookout. I would assume the Dryad is a little too spooky. Yeah. So, oh, the relic off the top. Okay. Um, well, I guess in this case, I have to leave the relic activation up. So I'm just gonna cast it. If they've got a force, then so be it. Okay, cool. And then I can't actually cast anything this turn. So I'm just going to go ahead. I can fetch out a commercial district, and then I can plus Ren and graveyard that again. Do that. And yeah, I'm really, really happy to have drawn this relic. And so next turn, I'm really going to be able to start kind of going off here with probably going to go Freestrider Lookout, ping on their upkeep, relic, trigger, Lookout again. Yeah, I guess I just got some mountains, so let me get a Dwarven Mind into play. And then start committing some crimes. All right, commercial district. Yeah, put that in my graveyard. I got a lot of lands already. I mean, this turn really shows the power of the Lookout here. It's like, yeah, it's just a 3-mana 3/3, but this 3-mana 3/3 just is still on play as a 3-mana 3/3 and gave me 2 lands. So now I'm just like super up, and then I can let's do a Dryad here. Okay, it resolved. Now I can use that. Oh, I guess I should have cast this Magda first, but I think I can. I mean, I can crack the fetch, or use one of these to trigger it as well. Okay, let's see what they've got. They might have a Brazen Borrower or something. What force to destroy those? Okay. I mean, they're making it a game. So let me start by doing this. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mountains already. So the Dryad doesn't need to be in play for these to resolve. Oh, and actually, are they just dead here? I attack for 4 down to 7. Looks like it. Let's bolt here first. Nice. Get a red ping and final land for lethal. Nice. Taking down Living End. Feels really good. It can be such a tough matchup sometimes. You saw with even the struggling to get those relics out. But yeah, taking him down for win number 1. Let's get to the next one. Okay, back for round 2 here. I'm coming up on the draw. This hand is pretty interesting. I've got only 1 land, but I do have Mishra's Bauble plus Commercial District plus, if I get a second land rent to kind of smooth my mana. So I think I'm going to keep this. And then, Magda plus Dryad, I mean, really tie the hand together as well. So let's see what my opponent's on. I think, with this hand, I wouldn't mind seeing like a Ragavan on the other side. Arid Mesa pass. That's interesting. Okay, so I didn't draw the land here. Let me look with Bobble and see what I've got going on. Okay, another relic on top. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and crack the fetch, grab a relic, and then yeah, from there hopefully I'll draw a land out of my next 2 draws. I guess worst case scenario I could always crack this relic to draw a card. So looks like against Jund Creativity. Nice one to have the relics against, and did draw a land here, so that's really nice. Okay, got the rendered 6 of their own. So I guess I have the option here to rented 6 or Magda. I think in this case I'm probably just going to go ahead and get the rented 6 down. This lets me when I do play the Magda, I'll be able to like double trigger it and then make a dragon just the following turn. So let me snag that before they have a chance to put anything else in the graveyard. Fully blank their rented 6. Fabled the Mirror Breaker. Yep. Okay, so think in this spot I can go I can play Magda, ping, then on their turn relic or bolt their goblin to get 2 triggers. I think that's probably better than playing a Dryad here. Just gonna go ahead, probably just ping this down. And yeah, we'll see if they have creativity here. I could definitely see, if they have a persist, then I'm, for sure cracking relic. I think unfortunately I can't bolt the goblin because I don't know. Okay, so they've got a fatal push as well. This is a really tough one because I can bolt the goblin, but then I leave myself open to a persist on the Archon. It's kind of a interesting one. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap the relic, and then let's see what they exile to. So they do exile the Archon too, which means I think I'm pretty free to. Oh, I don't actually have a Dryad in play. It's kind of. I think I was just assuming that I could tap my fetches. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and bolt the Shaman. Kind of awkward to give them the treasure token here, but I think it's worth it to keep my Ren alive. Okay, and they've got a Thoughtseize. Probably I'm assuming taking the ring. Yeah, that makes sense. Stomping Ground. Another Fable. Kind of a brutal sequence there. Um, so I guess I'm just gonna go ahead. I can play Dryad. Do I want to play a second Dryad? I probably do. I can do this. Play this. And then Commercial District for the Surveil. Bobble to Graveyard. I guess might as well. I think there's a decent chance I'm activating the relic here to um, stop the Ren plus, which actually I think they just didn't plus Ren at all last turn, right? Which is kind of a bold choice, but don't know if they necessarily need it. They're kind of churning through their deck. It's not great to see when I am empty-handed. I guess the question is, do I pop this to stop the Bloodstained Mire? I think I do. I think they've used a lot of their ways to discard already, and I mean I do need to come up with some type of action, so I mean if they attack, I'm blocking. I'm sure they're doing this for the treasure and then probably have a bolt, but I mean I've got two Dryads, so yeah. Bolt comes down. Dwarven Mine. Another Fable. Wow. That's that's pretty crazy. All right, well, I guess my plan is to depend on Gigantha. Um, so might as well go for my own Dwarven Mine here. The land back. And slam a 5/5. Next turn, they're going to be able to start making infinite reflections, which is not great. And I mean, I guess my best shot is just I can Ren, Legend Rule Ren, ping ping to stop it, but you know they didn't. I mean, they didn't find anything, and it's kind of interesting that I mean, I guess they discarded the Archon to dig deeper, but you know they would actually be kind of close to doing that. Okay, so I think this is a good trick here. They're making one reflection now in order to make it so that the only way for me to stop the reflections with my Ren is to kill one that is just a copy, and so I'm not really getting any value out of that. And I mean, they do also have a bit of reunion, so I guess I'm not really that interested in doing that anyway. All right, well, this turn I'm going to be doing some surveilling for sure. We get get a commercial district, Bauble to graveyard, get Bloodstained Mire back. And then I can at the end of their turn, I can fetch 2 more times to get commercial districts down. I'll let them go ahead and do their thing here. I mean, if I can find a Valakut, that might be okay. I'm not sure though. They might be able to make enough to kill me here. All right, so I'm going block, block, block. Take, was that 10, 12? Oh wow, exactly. So if I hadn't fetched or if I had pinged with Ren 6. Oh, and then they just also found a transmogrify. Okay, I will concede that. Okay, that one ended up a bit rough, but I think it could have gone either way really, depending on a few draws there. Kind of interesting. I think I do want some pick your poisons. Well, I was thinking they've got fables, which would be great to get with pick your poison, but they do also have bitter reunion, which kind of invalidates the whole pick your poison thing. But I think I'm gonna bring in 2. We'll leave 1 in case I need to wish for it. Probably just go ahead, trim a Ren, trim a Bauble, run it like that. And all right, so this is yeah, really awkward. So I'm gonna mulligan. Okay. Yeah, not an incredible hand. Actually, just extremely mediocre. But you know, I've got a Freestrider Lookout, which is honestly one of the best cards in the deck. And it's got Commercial District, which is another one of the best cards in the deck. Let's see here, a Lightning Bolt. Probably don't want a Lightning Bolt here. You know, it's good to break up the combo, but I really need like a relic or something to continually trigger this Freestrider Lookout. And more ways to get lands into play so that I can wish for Scape Shift. Okay. I think with drawing the ring here, I'm gonna go ahead and just play out the Lookout. I mean, I think there's a decent chance that it gets killed, but you know, then I can next turn cast the ring when they're, not going to have much in the way of an answer for that. Okay, Bitter Union, discard Archon. Guess we'll see if they can get the Persist together. I mean, I do have one turn where I'm relatively safe because of the protection from the ring. But I'm gonna need to find something here. Pick your poison. This is kind of what I was mentioning in the sideboarding portion, where Bitter Union is pretty awkward for me here, but I can pick it off. Probably will end up doing that, but I'm really, all I'm doing at this point is just stopping their Archon from having haste, which looks like they might be going for. Okay, they got their own pick your poison. That makes sense. And then yeah, with my wish, I mean, I could go get a Ren and 6. Okay, surgical extraction seems kind of a weird one to bring in, to be honest. But I think with drawing this mountain, I am just gonna go for the. Uh, I can go get Ren and 6, kill their Ren and 6, and get a land. So. Um, yeah, it would be a pretty good turn overall. Wow, and a miss. That is unfortunate. That is pretty unlikely in this deck. Do they have the persist now? They do. Yep, that one is pretty awkward. My board is cleared, and I think I just have to discard Valakut and Wooded Foothills to keep this pick your poison. Um, it's kind of my only way, really real way of dealing with this Archon, having a shot of clawing my way back into this game. So you have another surgical extraction or something? Okay. Well, sacrifice a creature with flying. That's step 1. Step 2, so I will cast a bauble. And step 3, I will put Gigantha in hand. I guess I should probably just crack it now. I think I could draw a bolt, which would be relevant if they go for creativity next turn. And yeah, I think. Okay, I go for Besage You on my Valakut. Sure. I think I'm just gonna go for a commercial district now. Yeah, with no Valakuts in play, not really much to do with my mana. I'm probably just gonna graveyard that. Really looking for. Okay, Ren and 6 is really good. And start to rebuild these Valakuts that have been destroyed. But if they have a creativity, this game is just over. Attack to get in the damage. Okay. Yep. That's the game. That was a kind of a rough one, but it's a tough deck to beat, and they got there. So we're moving onward and upward. Match 3 coming up. All right. We are on round 3. Yeah, this hand looks pretty good. I think this is kind of an interesting one with the double bobble here because I could cast one turn 1 or save it to either double trigger Magda or Freestrider Lookout, and I think I'm going to do that. At the very least, I can just wait till next turn to trigger Magda. Okay, so up against Burn. Let's see. Did draw a commercial district. That's nice. Fortunately, I do have to shock myself here, but good efficient use of mana to get that turn 1. And then I'm gonna go ahead and double trigger Magda here. There's no guarantee I'll be able to actually cast the Lookout on 3 unless I trigger this at least once. And then if I draw any way to commit a crime, then I'll be able to make a dragon next turn. Okay, so I got a Swift Spear and a Lava Spike. Okay. So they do have one land in hand, which is good to know. Let's see what they draw here. Another land, okay. I mean, if my opponent just draws a bunch of lands, then that's good for me. Oh, this is kind of interesting here. I have to use a treasure to cast the ring, but obviously the ring kind of puts me in a good position going forward. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and play the Lookout. I think I'd really don't want to be just throwing away my treasures just to get the ring down because I would want, you know, a hasty 4/4 to help me out here. And I don't think the ring, it would kind of save me one turn, but uh, it doesn't really help too much in the grand scheme of things if I'm trying to draw cards, which is really what I want to be doing with it. So, okay, they've got a Swift Spear. There's a Sunbaked Canyon. Yeah, I was about to say if they attack, I'm definitely blocking. A little rough to not draw land or not to draw a crime enabler here. Let me see. I'm gonna surveil this to the graveyard. I think with the with the 2 crime payoffs in play, I'd really just like to get that going instead. Okay, so they're down to 2 cards, one of which is a Sacred Foundry. I'm going to see what they do here, and then use that info to decide whether I want to draw with the ring. Okay, so they drew an Arid Mesa, cracked the Sunbaked Canyon. So they have 1 Sacred Foundry and 2 unknowns. Ooh, that is a rough one. I don't think I can draw here. I just feel like it's gonna be too little too late if I do. Okay, so Wish is interesting. I could actually use it to cast Weather the Storm here. I could also use it to commit a crime. I kind of like the idea of just cast Weather the Storm, draw 2, or gain 6, I mean, and then it kind of unlocks the ring. So with that in mind, I'm going to draw another Lookout, sure. And then let's surveil. Again, surveilling this to the graveyard. And then just going to go ahead, cast my Weather the Storm. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have Skullcrack. Okay, cool. Moving onward and upward here. Got another Sunbaked Canyon. It's like they're just drawing cards. Losing a life. Really need to... Okay, cool. Okay, so now I've got lots of crimes to be committed here. Nice, I got a Valakut. And another Valakut. Do 1. Now the question is... Do I mean, I think I just go straight to the dome here. Oh, nice. They pack it in. Oof, that was oh, that was a close one. I think that Wish really saved me there. So yeah, I probably want Flame Slashes. Potentially see how much. Let's see how much I want to cut here. I'm feeling like I want the wishes in still because that would allow me to cast Weather the Storm, and I guess it is 5 mana, but I don't think I really would want to be casting Weather the Storm for that, like too much before that anyway, and having the double wish gives me makes me twice as likely to draw it. I think so. I think probably want to trim some copies of the One Ring, and yeah, maybe I'll go down 2 rings. Might just cut the baubles. I've got you know, they're good enablers, but I'm bringing in for Flame Slash, which are also an enabler. So yeah, probably run it like that. See how it goes. Good to pick up game 1 though. Definitely feeling good after that. Um, it's kind of an interesting hand. I'm probably gonna keep. Um, I think there's a pretty good chance to draw a land and flame slash. Okay, did draw a land, and I can flame slash Goblin Guide here. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and look at what they've got. Searing Blood. Okay, that's a good one to know about. My Magdas are in danger for sure. um, so land Eidolon. Okay, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and flame slash. Get that off the table. Commercial district. I've already got a Dryad, so I'm gonna Dryad to the graveyard. And then, yeah, I mean, I think it's all coming together pretty well here. Probably gonna end up just playing Dryad and Stomping Ground here. Um, kind of wanted to get up to 5 mana for this wish. Let's see. I'll grab a forest. Because I do know about this Searing Blood, um, probably not going to block because I mean it just lets them convert that into a bolt. Okay, they got a Path to Exile on my Dryad. That seems really good for me. I mean, would have liked to have the Dryad, but you know, getting to ramp out a land and get my fifth land for this wish seems like really, really good. Um, well, now I can even Freestrider, Wrenn and 6 back a land, Bolt. Yeah, I mean, I think with them being stuck on, I guess I did this wrong. I'm kind of leaving them open to if they have a Bolt, they can kill my Freestrider lookout, but it doesn't look like they do, so might be able to dodge here. And I'm gonna get a Dwarven Mine. Oh, actually, that was not good because of Searing Blaze or Searing Blood. So that might have been a mistake, but hopefully that doesn't matter too much, especially with them kind of still being on 2 lands here. Oh, okay, they got Slick Shot Show Off. That's interesting. Okay, Valakut's a good pickup here. Oh, actually, now that I look at the situation, um, I already have 7 lands, so I can now Escape Shift. So yeah, that's gonna be a GG here. Nice. Feels good to take down Burn and move to 2-1. Let's see if I can finish it out for a trophy. Or not a trophy, a treasure chest. All right, back for round 3, or round 4 now. Sitting at 2-1. See if I can pull off the 4-1 here, or if it's going to be less than that. I mean, this hand looks pretty good. I got a Crime Committer and Crime Enabler. So, I'd love to see that. I wonder with a Gigantha on the other side, maybe a Zoo, Preordain. Could be a like a blue-red tempo, or maybe even Storm. Guess we'll have to see. Hard to tell off just Steam Vents preordained. It's hard to find a blue-red deck that doesn't want to do that. Feels good to have a relic here, though. I mean, if they are some sort of storm or the blue-red wizard deck, something along those lines, then just kind of keeping the graveyard in check is good to see. Okay, so it's prowess, and unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be able to kill that thing. Yeah, that's a bit rough, but really there's not much I can do other than cast a Magda, trigger it twice, and then hopefully my dragon that comes down next turn will be able to stop me from dying. But this thing can really pile on the damage, so there's a decent chance that I'll just be dead this turn. So I got a Dragon Rage on top. It is not a non-creature, which is both good and bad. Good that they can't trigger their show off, but bad that they can just add to the board. Okay, and then they remove my board and also attack for 6. Yeah, it's pretty good. Luckily I do have my second Magda here that can still make a dragon. A third Magda. Yeah, I really need all the treasures, so there's nothing I can do that would let me play a Wren. And nice when they have one of each card type in the graveyard, so they have to put themselves further away from Delirium. And okay, graveyard that. Don't need another Valakut. Feels pretty sad to make a 4/4 flying haste for 0 mana and not attack with it, but yeah, I'm praying to the magic gods that I will not die this turn. I mean, so I've got a Dragon Rage Channeler and 2 unknown cards in hand. Doesn't look like they have express. Okay, so they have another show off. Well, I think next turn I'm gonna be going Wrenn and 6, Ping Channeler. Unfortunately, I can't. It's pretty unfortunate that I wasn't able to trigger Magda on my opponent's turn this round because it means that I'm not able to make a dragon. Okay, so they attack. I'm blocking 100%. Let's see what they've got here. I'm assuming it's not nothing. If they're, I mean, I would imagine they're not going to trade that off for just 2 mana or 2 damage. Yeah, got a mutagenic growth. So that's 3, 6, 8 damage down to 3. So I will be dead to a bolt. Let's see if they. Okay, and they keep a card on top. That is bad. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm actually dead to any non-land. Which means, in this case, I need to find a way to block or kill a show off. So let's start here. Um, yeah, I really need to get some more info about what I can do here. So I'm gonna need to fetch for sure, because that draw was awful. So I'm gonna fetch out. I think I can go for a dwarven mine here, just in case of a swift spear off the top or something. Um, and then yeah, I guess I should pop the relic. All right, I guess I can trigger Magda, and then pop the relic, and we'll see. I'm able to put together here a wish. Well, I wish I had one more mana to use with this. Um, so I think now my only hope is I can play the Ren, ping the Dragon Rage Channeler. I'm going to go ahead and attack with Magda. I do have a ground blocker, and also they topped, so I'm assuming that it's not a ground blocker that they found. And then I need to draw a bolt here. I did not draw a bolt. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to be dead. Oh, they just drew a bolt. Okay, so yeah. Unfortunate to draw that wish with uh, no mana to use it, but it is what it is. I'm gonna bring in a bunch of removal, um, and probably take out bubbles. Um, maybe trim down on rings and maybe Magda here. So can't really block and dies to a lot of things. Um, so yeah, trimming rings they can be a bit clunky, and I do like keeping the wishes in because it gives me access to Weatherstorm if I need it, and then also, you know, it does give me that out of the instant kill at 7 lands, um, with a escape shift or something. I think this hand is probably a mulligan. This does nothing on its own. This does nothing for a long time, and then if they don't have a flying creature, this also does nothing. So that's a lot of potential nothing, and this is super awkward. And you know, it would be a good hand if one of these was a green land, I think, but without that, it's not a good hand. Okay, this hand is pretty solid. Really annoying to have to put 2 cards back here. So putting down 1 Valakut for sure, and then maybe just the Dryad. You know, a Dryad is obviously good with Valakut, but it's right as of right now, you know, I'd be putting back the 3rd land over to the Dryad, which then leaves me with not enough lands to play Dryad. And then once I do play Dryad, I can't even take advantage of the extra land drop. So just bad vibes all around. Okay, so no creature turn 1. I got peek at my top card, and it is the 1 ring. Really hate to put myself to 16 here, but I think putting down the Magda and getting these triggers right away is going to be pretty big. Okay, so they have the bolt. Pretty, I mean, makes sense given that they just played the Mountain and Pass, but um, I do still get a treasure out of it. So if I draw an untapped land, I can cast the ring next turn. Um, and another Magda would be pretty sweet. A um, lookout would also be really good. Okay, so they keep a card on top with Preordain. Let's see what we're going to. Luckily, with this relic in play, the Channeler is at least kind of stuck as a 1/1. Also makes Ren into a pretty solid draw if I could find that as well. Looks like they got a debate here. End up going top bottom. Okay, so I do find a land for the ring. I think I'm kind of priced into going for that. With my current lack of resources, I am gonna need to find something here. Okay, I found a Magda. Fortunately, I did have to use the treasure from the last Magda. But I at least accomplished a turn 3 ring out of the deal. Plotted a show off, which makes sense. Okay, I found a wish. Wish is pretty solid. Okay, and a bolt too. That's nice. I love to see that. So now I can Magda get the crime trigger and then also bolt on their turn to get another trigger. And I even drew a Dryad too, so these Valakuts are going to come online. I guess I only have one, but this Valakut is going to come online a lot quicker. Okay, keep a card on top. Show off has been cast. An iteration. Yep. Honestly, they might be able to get Delirium even through this relic. With land, creature, sorcery right now, and then if they've got an instant, or if they can surveil an instant, then then there's a bauble too for the artifact. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'm well, really the only saving grace here is that I have this bolt. Then let's see what they've got. They've got a surgical extraction. Yeah, kind of surprised that people are bringing that in. I mean, I also had somebody bring in a surgical extraction in a different match that I was playing off cam, and I don't really know why. You're not really a graveyard focused deck unless you're trying to disrupt the Ren activations. But that doesn't seem like the greatest solution there. And they've got a mutagenic growth. So I think I'm just dead now. Yep. Well, I think and a bolt. Okay. Well, that's game. Pretty rough match. Kind of tough to fight through all of that, but yeah, GG's opponent. going on to the last round, see if I can get a 3-2. All right, back for the last round. Do get to be on the play, which I always like to see. And get a pretty good hand here too. I'm going to be hopefully committing a lot of crimes this game. Can trigger Magda pretty quickly. Ooh, up against humans. Wonder if this is a collector's cage version, or if this is just more traditional humans. And Bobble is a really nice draw here because now I can double trigger. And then I'll be able to make a dragon next turn. Okay, Imperial Recruiter on the top. Been a little bit since I've seen a human deck. I'm not really wonder if they've got any innovations that they're adding in, or if it's just a more straightforward build. Okay, looks like Unsettled Mariner. I guess it doesn't really matter either way because I'll get the crime trigger, and that's all I'm really after. So if they counter my relic exiling their non-existent graveyard, then it is what it is, I guess. Okay, cool. Really glad to draw a land here. Makes things much less awkward because now I can play the Lookout, commit a crime, and then trigger both of these and make a 4/4. So my relic does not get to resolve, but that's okay. The relic did its part. And I'm going to make a dragon. And unlike in my previous ones, oh wow, they just my opponent tilted so hard they they just scooped the entire match. You make one scorpion dragon and suddenly you're the bad guy. Like, can you do anything anymore? Well, I'll take it. Always nice to get that, especially when you're playing for a treasure chest. Um, and like, would I really be able to survive if I hadn't been able to get this treasure chest to get 5 play points and a villainous wealth? I mean, I just would have been absolutely devastated if I hadn't gotten that opportunity. Um, but final thoughts here. I think this deck is really sweet. When you get those relic into Magda into Freestrider draws, like it just really feels unbeatable. And the backup plan, like you win so many games, just okay. Well, you killed all of my threats, but I still have 6 lands in play, and one of them's a Valakut. So deal with that. And even just being able to have 4 surveil lands, you get a lot of kind of nothing draws where you're like, okay, I've got like 5 lands, a Dryad, and a Bolt, but you can kind of fetch your way out of it just by going, okay, commercial district, surveil land to the graveyard, bolt your thing, get another commercial district, find find a Wren or find a Ring, find a Lookout. So it's really just the way this deck works together is just really, really, really sweet. I would kind of imagine that most Valakut, red green Valakut lists are going to look like this um, in the future, since it really feels much nicer to be doing this than something like trying to get to 6 mana for a Primeval Titan, or have a main deck Scape Shift that does nothing till you have 7 mana, something like that. So overall, really sweet deck. Really, really liked it. Leave a comment if you have an idea of what you'd like to see me play next, and I'll see you guys next time.